That is why you're the betting expert.
See, those are good stats.
Right, Will, this is where the sensible money will be going.
Told you I was right.
Welcome to SunSport's Weekend Wager, where every Friday afternoon we use in-depth stats, cutting-edge insight and razor-sharp analysis to unearth the best value bets from the upcoming sporting weekend. I'm Will Pugh, and with me is football journalist Kweku Afari and a man with world-level betting expertise. It's Betfair's very own James Mackie. James will be judging which of our bets are most on the money, as well as revealing some hidden value punts of his own to help guide your wagers this weekend. In this episode, we've got hot tips from the Premier League, the big racing meet at Cheltenham, and of course, the Dutch Darts Masters. Gentlemen, first up, Wolves versus Arsenal at Molineux. 17th plays second, Saturday, traditional 3 o'clock kickoff. Massive game for both teams for different reasons. Kweku, what you got for me?
Big game, both ends of the table. Arsenal to score 4 or more goals, 9-2. Pretty straightforward. Wolves have been shipping a lot of goals this season. They've conceded 51 goals in 22 league games this year, 2.3 goals per game, which is the most in the Premier League. At this pace, they're set to concede 88 goals, which would be the third most in the history of a 38-game Premier League season. Only behind Sheffield United last season conceded a whopping 104 goals, and that infamous Derby side from 07-08 who conceded 89 goals. What do those two teams have in common?
Yep.
They both went down. So that doesn't fare well for Vitor Pereira's side. Wolves actually conceded 11 goals in their last 4 Premier League games, 3 in each of their last 3 games. I watched the Chelsea game, conceded 3 in that one. Don't look very good defensively. I think they're going to concede a lot of goals against Arsenal.
Now, Kweku, I normally find it very easy to argue with you because you do sometimes talk a lot of waffle, but in this instance, I think you're bang on the money.
Just tell me I'm right, mate.
I'm not going to go that far, to be quite honest, but you're bang on the money. It's exactly what I'm thinking as well. I've gone with Arsenal to win and 5 or more goals in the game at 5-1. That bet is the stats you said there. That I'm singing off that same hymn sheet. I've also got, have a listen to these. Arsenal have scored in each of their last 34 games against Wolves, right? And not since a 1-0 home defeat in February 1979 have they failed to score against Wolves. I mean, that in itself tells a story, doesn't it? It's both Arsenal's longest scoring streak against an opponent and Wolves' longest run without a clean sheet against a team in both teams' respective history. So if Arsenal, it screams Arsenal scoring. Also, since the start of the 2022-23 season, Arsenal have conceded just 0.8 goals a game when William Saliba starts, compared to 1.7 when he doesn't. And Arsenal have kept just 2 clean sheets in 13 games without the Frenchman. He's done his hamstring, of course, unlikely to feature in this. The other thing as well, Kweku, which is why I've gone away from yours a little bit, is just because I'm a bit worried Arsenal may have some Champions League fatigue from that 3-0 win over Dinamo Zagreb this week. And Wolves, although they've had problems at the back, going forward, Matthias Cunha, Strand Larsen's been playing well. That's actually, they haven't had problems there. So I fancy them to score as well. So 5 goals for that. James, what are you making of those?
Yeah, look, I don't want to make an enemy of you early because I'm sitting next to you, but I'm going to go with Will for this one for a few reasons. Just a little bit more value there with 5-1 to 9-2. And it was that angle you just said there. Wolves have scored in all but 2 or 3 Premier League games this season.
What have you got for us?
Yeah, for myself.
Value?
A little bit of hidden value for you here, and it's not going to break records. He's just going to kick me off here. It's 4-5 for Leandro Trossard to score or assist in the game. I think 1 to add into bet builders for people punting this weekend. And just a few stats to back it up here. Leandro Trossard has been involved in 6 goals in his last 6 Premier League starts, 2 goals, 4 assists, 2+ shots in 5 of those 6 games. And also the Belgian has been involved in more goals against Wolves than any other opponent in the Premier League. So he loves playing against Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard. It's funny, isn't it, how some players just have purple patches against teams. They like playing against them, like scoring against them. It screams goals. The stats scream goals. All the stuff we've covered there. Q 0-0. As always, if you're having a bet this weekend, please play responsibly and take time to think. Visit begambleaware.org. Right, gentlemen. This is arguably the biggest game of the Premier League weekend. Not even arguably, to be honest. Man City versus Chelsea, Saturday, 5:30 at the Etihad. 5th plays 4th. Both teams having sort of weird seasons. Their form's kind of like gone like this, isn't it? City were struggling. They're sort of finding their feet again. Chelsea were being talked about for the title, and now they've fallen away a little bit. Kweku, your beloved Blues, the London Blues, not the Manchester ones, go to the Etihad. What are you saying, son?
Pretty straightforward for me here. Chelsea to receive 4 or more cards in the game, 5-4. Chelsea's season has been underpinned, blighted by ill discipline. Chelsea have actually accrued the second most yellow cards this season with 64, only behind Southampton, who've got 65. Think about the difference in the two sides, right? Chelsea have a lot of the ball. So why are you giving away so many fouls? That's because of the ill discipline. And I expect that to continue in this game against a Man City team that will have a lot of the ball. You think about the Man City game midweek against PSG, they only had 34% possession. I expect them to have a lot more of the ball at the Etihad. That will lead to Chelsea frustrations, hence the bookings.
Yeah, it sounds sensible, a little bit cowardly, to be honest. A little bit
from this guy.
5-4, any danger of some bravery. But no, look, the science is sound, isn't it? Or the stats are sound. I'm totally with you. Look, I'm going Cole Palmer to score 2 or more goals against his old team, going back to Man City, and that is coming in at 10-1, right? Listen to this stat. Cole Palmer and Noni Madueke have created 25 chances for each other in the Prem this season, which is the most of any duo, giving strong Heung-min Son, Harry Kane at their peak of their Tottenham powers vibes. And Palmer's 17 chances for Madueke that he's created is actually the most one player has created for a specific teammate in the Premier League. So I know you might be thinking, well, why are you going for Palmer to score the goals? I think at 10-1, he's in such imperious form this season. I think going back to City as well, there's that added sort of story element to it. He's so calm and collected, Cole Palmer, is he not? But I do fancy that he'll want to prove to his old fans, you know, look at me now, don't you wish you still had me? So at 10-1, I really fancy that. James, what are you saying?
Yeah, look, not to do it again, Kweku, but it's just the 10-1 for me. It really screams a lot of value here with Cole Palmer. Like you said, going back to his old stomping ground, we only went for 45 million when you think that's not enough money, but for what he's done so far. Look, he's 4th in the top scorer Golden Boot for the Premier League so far, behind Mohamed Salah with 18. He's having another brilliant season, and he'll want to prove a point, won't he? And when you're getting 10-1 for a leaky defence of Man City, conceding, 4 in the Champions League against PSG, right. And they have been conceding goals on numerous levels this season. But look, it's going to be a tight, cagey game, isn't it? You expect cards, and especially for Chelsea with the ill discipline. So 2 good bets there for me. Here, I'm going down the City route, and I'm also going back to an old stomping ground sort of vibe as well. Yep. So starting with Foden, to have 2+ shots on target. Right. He is a bet builder, so there's two bets in this. So Foden has scored 5 goals in his last 3 Premier League games, has had 2+ shots in 6 of his last 7.
He's coming into some form.
He really is. Yeah. From a player who won Player of the Season in the Premier League last season to not score a goal all the way up till about 3 or 4 games ago, and now he's kicking on again in all competition. So for 2+ shots, that's 8-5, but adding it into a bet builder to make it 7-2 with Kevin De Bruyne to score or assist in the game. Yep. And sees Kevin De Bruyne, look, playing against Chelsea, people will forget that he had that stint at Chelsea.
Tried to forget that.
But he provided 4 assists in his last 3 Premier League games, including 2 against Ipswich last time out. The Belgian has 5 Premier League goals against his former side Chelsea as well, only letting more against Arsenal in this competition. So he loves playing against his old side Chelsea.
Yeah, you got Trossard and De Bruyne. You're back in the Belgian.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, big time. I still can't. I like the fact we've all swerved the result because. To London next, gentlemen. West London, to be specific. Fulham versus Man United. Sunday, 7 o'clock kickoff time. Very, very peculiar indeed. It's 10th, plays 13th. Now, lots of talk around a giant killing here, with a few fans thinking that Man United could actually win. Kweku, you're Fulham, you're West London rivals. As a Chelsea fan, what you got for
Man United fans, get him in the comments. I've gone straight forward this one. I've delved into the card market again. Yep. Sasa Lukic to be carded 2-1. The Fulham midfielder is actually the joint most booked player in the Premier League this season, along with Southampton's Flynn Downs, 9 bookings. And that's actually 1 behind Fulham's all-time record. Michael Brown in the 06-07 season, 10 bookings. João Paulinho actually did it twice. In the 22-23 season, 14 bookings. And last year, 13 bookings. So expect the Fulham midfielders to pick up a card in this one.
Yeah, I quite like that. You sort of stuck to a theme this week, to be fair, Kweku. The odds, they're hardly ripping up any trees, are they? 2-1. But we're here to win some people some money,
I'm just using the logic to help the punters win some money.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. I'll let you have that. It's funny you mentioned João Paulinho. He was a bit of sort of like a wrecking ball, wasn't he? An elite level player. Sasa Lukic has done well. Fulham are onto a really good thing this season. In a game like that, Man United are going to be going at it, having a lot of the ball. Kobe Mainu and the Manuel Ugarte. It's a combative central midfield area. So I like your thinking there. I've gone Fulham to win by 2+ goals, 10-3. Fulham are onto such a good thing this season. They're really going under the radar. Marco Silva has got them playing some really good stuff. Man United, as we know, in absolute disarray. I think on the Betfair website or app, this bet is the handicap match result, Fulham -1. But it's 10-3 there. Now, some of these stats to back that up, right? Fulham have scored exactly 2 goals in each of their last 5 Premier League matches, so it could easily be a 2-0 if you're asking me. Only once in their top-flight history have they netted 2 or more goals in 6 games in a row, and that was in 1966. And this next stat is why I really like this bet and the chances of Fulham winning, not just winning, but winning comfortably, right? Manchester United keeper Andre Onana has made 3 errors leading to an opposition goal this season. That is the most by a Man United player in a single campaign since David De Gea in 2019-2020. And we're already... we've still got loads of the season to go, haven't we? His save ratio, Onana's this is, 63.6%, is the lowest by a Red Devils keeper since Anders Lindegaard, remember him, in 2012-2013.
Wow.
See, those are good stats. And again, me and you normally at loggerheads, but I like that. Think about the Brighton-Man United game or the Man United-Brighton game. Onana at fault for a goal that led to Ruben Amorim talking about Manchester United being the worst team in the history of the club. So I quite like your bets there, mate.
There we go. It's a bit weird agreeing with each other.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. James, what you got?
Yeah, look, credence to both here, and let's not beat around the bush. Man United are rubbish. They've been dreadful this season. They can't seem to get going in any form, and even the manager's coming out and saying we're nervous. We're the worst Manchester United side ever in the Premier League. So you can see why. And Marco Silva's got Fulham absolutely clicking. Look, they're only 10th in the league at the moment, but they've been brilliant. Had some real big giant killings already this season against some really good clubs. But, Kweku, I think you found the one here. I think this could be the best bet of your lot so far. Because, like you said, Sasa Lukic, he's a bit of a pit bull in there, hasn't he? He's taken on the Polini role as the last man before the defence, dragging people down, picking up fouls all the time. I think the 2-1's a really good price there, and I think he'll make it 10 this weekend against a midfield that do like to go forward when they can, with Kobe Mainoo, Bright in there. So, yeah, I think it's a really good shout from both of you.
And what have you got for us, James?
Yeah, so I've just gone for a single selection here. Another one you could probably add into bet builders, and I think it's actually a bit of hidden value here because it's 17-2 for Alex Iwobi to have 2 shots on target or more in the game. If you look at some of the stats around Iwobi, he's had 2+ shots in each of his last 5 matches, including 3 shots on target in his last 3. He has been absolutely superb under Marco Silva, like many has. Harry Wilson's been popping up goals. Raul Jimenez is backfiring like he was when he was at Wolves. And you also have Emile Smith-Rowe. What a signing that was from Arsenal. Yeah. That front 4 have been absolutely brilliant. And Alex Iwobi's been a big part of that. If you look on the side he's going to play against the lower Mazraoui, they give up opportunities left, right and centre. So for 17-2 for 2+ shots on target, I think it's a cracking bet.
James, that is why you're the betting expert. That is spot on there. Alex Iwobi, again, just like the rest of the Fulham team, going under the radar. He's playing excellent football, probably the best football of his career, and sort of making that 40 million that Everton paid for him off Arsenal now look like good value. Just a shame
exactly that.
Everton. Right, for anyone who fancies a non-football bet this weekend, James, you got a couple of decent ones.
Right, Will. This is where the sensible money will be going. Cracking action in the horse racing world. It's Cheltenham Trials Day, the last Cheltenham meeting before the Cheltenham Festival in March. 7 unbelievable trials for that 4 days in March. And Betfair ourselves, we sponsor 3 of the races on the card on Saturday. So the one selection I've gone for at Cheltenham. Yep. Look, it's not going to blow anyone away. It's even money, but it's one to kick off.
A Kweku bet, we call that.
Yeah, a Kweku bet, we call that. But it's in the 115, so it's one to start you off for your day before the football starts at 3 o'clock. But East India Dock to win the 115 at Cheltenham. So this horse, he won last time out at Cheltenham in a Grade 2 Triumph trial in November, dotted up by 18 lengths, unbelievable. The field he took on wasn't great, but I don't think the field he's taking on, again, is that good either, and you're getting even money. I personally think this should be shorter. He's only ran twice over hurdles. He's improved from run to run. He was a brilliant flat horse, rated 90. I think he's going places for trainer James Owen this season. The angle to take with him, though, if you don't want to take the short price of even money, he's 6-1 for the Triumph Hurdle at the festival, the first race on the Friday. I think he'll be about 3 or 2-1 after winning on Saturday. So maybe the angle is to play the anti-post market at a bigger price and watch and have a really nice ticket when it comes to the Cheltenham Festival. So East India Dock in the 115 at Cheltenham.
I like a bit of that, mate. Weekend wager, Kweku, for this weekend, and we're doing a bit of planning ahead as well. Absolutely beautiful stuff. We're talking about the darts, of course. Luke Little has the name on everyone's lips, but it's the Dutch Darts Masters starting today, going in to the final on Saturday night. Talk to me.
Yeah, fresh off the back of a birthday, isn't he? He's 18 years of age now, Luke Littler. We have a lovely, actually, odds boost on this. It was 7-4, now 2-1 to win the Dutch Masters. Look, he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Brilliant for the sport over the last 2 years. When he won the World Championships over Christmas, everyone was behind it. Everyone was watching. I certainly was.
I was at that final, and it was one of the greatest sporting events I've been to. You could just feel it in the room that history was being made. It was amazing.
I was the same from my sofa. Off my seat, he was absolutely brilliant. But you look in the market, some really good players they've got around it on the circuit at the moment. Luke Humphries, ex-winner of the World Championship, he's in there 100-30. MVG, you can't forget about him, can you?
Obviously, home tournament as well.
Home tournament, exactly. He's 6-1. Nice bit of value there. Gerwin Price is one to keep note of. Runner-up in Bahrain, the last tournament before this, and he knocked out Luke Littler in that tournament. So got a bit of form going in. But I think the value lies here with Let's Go Bunting Mental for Stephen Bunting. He won the Bahrain Masters.
He did.
And he's 8-1 here to go and win the Dutch Masters. That could be the value off a brilliant World Championships as well.
I mean, darts fans aren't looking anywhere beyond Luke Litter at the moment, really. But that seems a little bit foolish. You mentioned Bunting, won at Bahrain, done really well in the World Champs to get to the semis. It feels like lots of the top-level elite darts players are in really good form at the moment. But what Littler has proved, especially in Bahrain, is that he is beatable. So from a value point of view, it seems like you're better off parking Littler. He can be beaten. The odds aren't great. Looking at Bunting, your MVG, 6 and 8 to 1s there. I like the sound of those a lot. Right, that's it for this week's episode of Weekend Wager. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. As always, if you're having a bet this weekend, please play responsibly and take time to think. Visit begambleaware.org.